the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
The winner of this morning's comments is Jane. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Practitioner Brief, Wednesday, November 3rd. But for those who can't watch or see, to the tune of Baby Shark, James Azar, do, and that is just absolutely that. I've been laughing for about 2.5 minutes straight after I've seen that. Well done, Jane. I will be messaging you later to send you some swag for that one, because that just made my day. So an untraditional opening, but an untraditional comment that won it all. That was, money in the bank. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and everywhere else you listen to your podcast platform. Welcome to the CyberHub podcast, Cybernews Practitioner Brief. It's November 3rd, 2021. We've got a really busy show today. Not so much a lot of stories, but very, very important stories that we'll get to. And I want to kick off with a different story than the one that's on the screen. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. But before I do that, good morning to Jane, who's with us. Good morning to Mr. McQuiggan joining us from the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. Paul Cummings is with us. Good morning to the new Papa from beautiful, magnificent, the largest city in the country, Jacksonville, Florida. Listening to the cool sounds of Dr. TJJ Azar. Thank you so much, Paul. I really do appreciate it. Good morning to David Moalam, and good morning to David B as well. Thank you all for being here today. Shout out to KnowBe4 for their support of the show. And you know how we do it every morning, folks. What do you drink? Because I drink coffee, and not just any coffee. I can't drink black coffee anymore. I can't. The only black coffee I can drink some is Black Rifle. The only reason I can drink Black Rifle coffee is there's a few brews that just don't taste like dirty black water. Just a few. So, my beautiful double espresso. But before I do that, the awesome Karen Morstall's with us this morning. Good morning to you. And good morning from the awesome state of Virginia. Definitely, Virginia's going to be in the news for the next few days. And Larry, who won the World Series? The ATL Braves, baby. So much happened last night that people forgot that the Braves won the World Series. And luckily, their parade's Friday, which means I don't have a show, which means I'm going to the parade. So if you're in ATL, you want to go to the Braves parade, you should join me. Can't take baby, too young. Parade will be too much for him, but I'll be there. A little bit of a baseball time. But with that being said, my double espresso, congratulations to the Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series and beating the Astros. For all my Texas folks that are maybe sleeping in this morning, better luck next year. Coffee cup cheers, folks. I feel like I should have started the show with the Braves, right? I should have. I wanted to, but Jane won it with this comment. I could not just start the show without this comment. So with that being said, the Baby Shark theme will be forever in my head for the rest of the day today. I'm going to have to work overtime to get it out. Let's get into BlackMatter is claiming to be shutting down due to police pressure. The cybersecurity gang that's infamously behind several major ransomware attacks is now saying that they're shutting down, and they're blaming it on police pressure from authorities. So they blame it on authorities. In Russia, the authorities is the government. And what they're saying is that several of their team members are no longer available after the latest news, which this goes, I hate to say I told you so, but deterrence is achieved by targeting these people, by hacking back, by exposing their identities, by putting it out there. And what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have good people who do this because it's a way to make a living in different parts of the world because they have very little opportunities to do anything else. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying we should go on anything of that nature. All right. But I know Russia. I've been there. I know the Ukraine. I lived in Kiev for nearly a year and traveled there for multiple years. I was there during the revolution. I know the people. I know Romania. I spent time in Romania. I know Bulgaria. I know Albania, Estonia, Kosovo, those places where a lot of these people operate from. Latvia, Belarus. Those are places where opportunities to make this kind of money just don't exist. So with that being said, the pressure comes off. People start to get scared. They don't want to go to jail. They're seeing people getting nipped right and left and being extradited. They don't want that. And nothing is scarier than a New York jail. Nothing is, right? Like these guys will be like, I'll go sit in Siberia for 20 years. I don't care. But send me to a New York jail. Ain't no way in hell I'm doing that. So the crypto work, this is the latest news according to BlackMatter. Revel were the same ones as well. But here's the thing, and don't get this twisted. Some of these guys will come back under a different name utilizing the same tools. Or they'll change the tools slightly, come back with a different name. So there won't be black matter, there'll be gray matter, or red matter, or blue matter. Who cares? One of those. But with that being said, they're likely to rebrand as a new ransomware. I mean, Revel went to GNC, to GN Crab. Maze went to Gregor, BitPayer to Doppler Paymer to Grief, and Nymphy went to Nephilim to Karma. So, I mean, they rebrand, folks. That's just part of the game. Okay? That's one story. Let's get to this one, because this one is really significant. It's the Mosquito banking Trojan. It's back. It's got new attack, and it's got stealth technique. And if you take a look at how it does this, it's absolutely unbelievable. Everything either starts with a phishing email or a malicious link. Now I can hear James McQuiggan in the background giggling. Goes into downloading a zip drive. Why do you still allow people in the world of today, if you're on Office 365, if you're on G Suite, to get access to zip and download zip drives? That is, at that point, your own fault. I haven't allowed a zip into our email infrastructure in years. I don't do it. Someone wants to send you a lot of files, you give them access to SharePoint. You give them access to OneDrive, you give them access to Google Drive. I don't care. You create some sort of file sharing system, and that's where it goes. Never zip files, never in email, never in malicious links, never ever, right? The only person who can download a zip is an admin, and that's it. Okay, something really important to keep in mind. It goes into an obfuscated badge. It then launches a PowerShell script. It then downloads a second zip. It creates a brand new directory. Then it does an auto hotkey interpreter. Then it does an auto hotkey script. Then it does a final DLL payload. And then it communicates with the command and control server. Did you see all these different steps here? And here's one of the things, according to where we've seen these attacks take place right now so far, has been Brazil, Chile, Mexico, Peru, and Spain, predominantly Spanish-speaking places. Brazil speaks Portuguese. One of the main characteristics is the modular attack, which gives the attackers the ability to change only a small part of the whole in order to avoid detection. The development comes after Spanish law enforcement agencies in July arrested 16 individuals belonging to a criminal network in connection with operating Mosquito and another banking malware called Grandorio as part of a social engineering campaign targeting financial institutions in Europe. The evolved version of Mekotio malware strain is designed for compromising Windows systems with an attack chain that commences with phishing emails masquerading as pending tax receipts and containing a link to a zip file or a zip file as an attachment. Clicking open the zip archive triggers execution of batch script that in turn run a PowerShell script to download a second stage. Again, if you just disable zips from your environment, things get much easier. The malicious modules are characterized by the use of simple obfuscation techniques, such as substitution ciphers, giving the malware improved stealth capabilities, enable it to go undetected by most antivirus solutions. Something to keep your mind on. Now, they talk about two-factor authentication. Here's the deal. Yes, but how are you doing MFA, right? Let's talk about that. Is it a text message to the phone? If so, I'm not so confident. Are you using an authentication app? Are you relying, if you're on there, these are targeting Windows. Have you launched Windows Hello as part of your multi-factor authentication? Because it does a few simple things. One, it authenticates to a device. Number two, it authenticates the biometrics. Number three, you can even put in a code as well that the Microsoft Authenticator generates. If you want to do that, you don't need to. That's an overkill. But nonetheless, very, very possible. So keep that in mind. Zip. Let's get to some of your comments here, folks. We've got howdy from Christoph. Click on the fish, on the file fish. Good morning to Merrill. Mal says, if you zip it. Yeah, if you have to zip it, indeed. Bill goes, no more zips. Stop it. Paul says 3.7 of all employees still click on phishing emails. Think of that. McQuiggan has a he. Andrew challenges the 3.7. I would imagine it is higher. It is, in fact, I think higher a little bit. I wonder, hey, Mr. Cummings, would you mind sourcing that 3.7? My zip has your bonus. Paul goes on to say, surprising it has dropped from 7%. I think we're all waiting for that. What about macOS? It does not target macOS. So this is only targeting Windows systems. Just keep that in mind. We'll move on to CISA. That's ordering federal agency to fix hundreds of exploited security. What? Federal agencies? Yep. CISA has issued this year's first binding operational directive ordering federal civilian agencies to mitigate security vulnerabilities exploited in the wild within an aggressive timeline. The goal of BOD 2201 is reducing the significant risk of known exploits vulnerabilities. This takes us to like the GitLab story yesterday, right? Where there's like 30,000 GitLab servers. They've had 6.5 months to patch, and they haven't patched them yet. So a big step forward today in protecting the federal civilian networks is binding operational directive 22-01 that establishes timeframes for mitigation of known exploits vulnerabilities and requires improvement in vulnerability management programs. And this is to the newly and well-earned CISA director, Jen Easterly, who's just been killing it since she's gotten this role. The BOD applies to federal civilian agencies. However, all organizations should adopt this directive, prioritize mitigating vulnerabilities listed on our public catalog, which are being actively used to exploit public and private organizations. Agencies are ordered to patch the 2021 bugs within 2 weeks. CISA has published a couple of hundred exploited security vulnerabilities, and they should be done within 2 weeks. Flaws exploited this year should be patched within the next 2 weeks until November 17th. So get to patching. Patch. Go back to yesterday's show. We talked a lot about patching. You can see that as well. Flaws exploited until the end of 2020 should be fixed within 6 months until May 3rd of 2022. Currently, the catalog includes about 200 vulnerabilities identified between 2017 and 2020, and 90 just from 2021. So in 3 years, we had 200. Just this year alone, it ain't over. 2 more months left. We've got 90. With CISA to regularly update it with newly discovered ones if they match the following conditions. The vulnerability's got a CVE. There's reliable evidence that the vulnerability has been exploited in the wild, and there's clear remediation for the vulnerability, like a patch. CISA also ordered federal agencies to review and update their internal vulnerability management procedures within 60 days. All of that and more, thanks to your friends over at CISA. Finally, the FBI publishes IOCs for Hello Kitty ransomware. That's been published, a flash alert to share details on the tactics, techniques, and procedures and indicators of compromise associated with the Hello Kitty ransomware, which is also known as 5 hands. Why? Keep it Hello Kitty. It's nice. None of us watch Hello Kitty anymore. We kind of like Hello Kitty. It's nice, all right? It's about the only cat I like was Hello Kitty. First observed in January of 2021, the malware was previously dissected by CISA, which revealed a series of similarities to the Death ransomware, suggesting that Hello Kitty or 5 hands might be its successor. So it went from Death Ransom to Hello Kitty. These people know marketing. They know branding. Death Ransom, really, really bad. Hello Kitty ransomware? I might want to get the Hello Kitty ransomware. Maybe that's their thought process. For initial access, the FBI says the adversary uses compromised credentials and exploits for known vulnerabilities in SonicWall products. After they gain access to an environment, the threat actor maps the network and attempts privilege escalation with the help of publicly available pen test tools like Cobalt Strike Commando and PowerShell Empire, preloaded with Bloodhound and Mimikatz. In addition to sharing IOCs associated with Hello Kitty and Five Hands ransomware compromises, the FBI published a series of mitigation recommendations for its alert. All of that and more you can see in the show notes. So go and click on the show notes, folks. So we've got that. So a few things, folks. One, let me get to two of your comments here. Wahoo to Jen Easterly. Yeah, she has, you can tell the difference in CISA under Krebs to under Easterly. And you can compare that now. She's been in the role. She listens. She's not all about we. She's about us. And that to me is hands down why I trust CISA today more than I've ever done in the past. In my experience, large enterprises are doing better than their peers if they meet or beat a 30-day patch cycle. Indeed, you got to do a 30-day patch cycle. And Paul Cumming does retract his 3.7%. He has sourced it. So it's right there in the comments and on the screen for all of your viewing pleasure. So make sure to check it out. Folks, that's it for us here today. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap up this week and get back on schedule. It's my first really full week being back since baby, and it's been awesome. So very excited about that. Till next time, folks. Till tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Drink some coffee. Go out. Enjoy the weather a little bit. Atlanta Braves, World Series champions. I'll be posting pictures from the parade on Friday. Until then, have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.